Hello, myself Sunil. This is basically the PHP 16 number part basically ongoing. In this basically we are discussing the validation. Till now basically we have discussed this validation, right? This whole thing basically we have already discussed. Validation of email IDs, validation name. See basically how the name basically validation only letter will be and white space are allowed. So this is basically the match prefix. Basically. These all are the patterns basically. Space will be available like this basically the patterns are given. If this doesn't match then basically it will go to error. Validation of email address is also basically given. Email address basically everybody knows at the rate and dot com basically dot in dot org like this basically validation. Normal validation basically everybody knows that email address verification basically how to give the email address verification. Then validation of URL basically how the URL verification URL validations are given. So like this basically the validation comes into the picture basically. Complete form example basically. What is form basically that everything we know that, right? So one of the person we have saw the example of 2 3 forms also basically, but we explained basically we had not saw basically. In this basically one of the person told that why basically form is required. If you want to pass the data from one page to another page, that also in bulk basically, that time basically form is required basically. That time basically the forms are required. Without form basically you can't submit basically. Form is the easiest way basically. Form is the easiest way to submit the. So see basically this is a text box, text box, text box, text area, text gender, that is the radio button. See basically these are all the genders and complete form basically we already saw. So this is the form basically. In form basically one of the percentage form में क्या क्या आता है basically what basically form contains. So all user controls basically it contains. Checkbox, radio button, text box, submit button, reset button, then the text area, then the checkbox is combo box, list box. This all basically contains in the form basically. That only basically we have to submit. That basically it might mean post or basically it might mean get format basically. That is the method basically. So date and time basically. To get the exact date in PHP, this is the command. This is actually function basically used for the date basically. So see basically these all are the formats basically available in the date. Get the date. How to get the date? So these all are the formats. D means day basically. So that comes to 0 to 31st. Month means 0 to 12, 1 to 12 basically, and year basically that can be 2 digit and 4 digit basically. So these all are the rest of the stuff basically are format basically. If you want in this format then basically give this format. If in this then give in this format basically. Automatically copyrights year basically. Use the date function to automatically update the copyrights year of the on your website basically. So that also basically is possible. But mostly basically people prefer current date and time and store data date basically. That only basically prefer basically because this is also coming from somewhere. So they basically prefer their own database basically. So these all are the formats basically. Time format. So you can basically each and everything you can copy paste, and you can basically here basically you can copy paste and you can basically execute it basically, and you, each and every stuff basically you can run it basically in the compiler. So basically it's not required that basically PHP's installation is must basically. But if your PC basically you don't have any PC, you don't have any configuration, you have basically just one mobile with you, then also you can easily able to understand this PHP basically. Just open this website, copy the code basically and just run it basically. That's all basically. The PHP is done. PHP basically you can easily able to learn the PHP. But to learn basically in depth basically, it takes time basically. But proper guidance basically is required. That is in that, for that basically you can go to the classes. If one person basically grasping power is very powerful, then basically class is not required basically. But the grasping power basically are very less, then basically that time basically classes are required, and the YouTube videos are also basically available. You can basically watch the YouTube videos and you can able to learn the PHP basically. Easily able to learn the PHP. So more date and time examples we will. So now basically PHP include files basically. One of the person told me what it include files basically. Include files means including files basically. What else basically? It's a simple basically word only basically says it's the include files basically. That means you are including something in your file basically. So see basically include and file, and that's all basically. For example, you are running one hello world file and you include or required date time dot php. So that date time dot php will be inside the hello world dot php. So whenever basically you are going to run the hello world php, that time include that time date time php also basically is going to be run basically. So you can say it's a one systematic modular way programming basically. In that basically you can create many modular files basically, and you can include the files into the main file basically. So that basically is a best example of modular programming basically. So you can say that nowadays basically the smart cities are getting created. So in smart city basically, what actually smart cities? It's a modular, no basically. You are basically creating everything modular wise basically. Metro city is there, bullet trains are there, then the railway station basically are getting modular wise. So these all are what basically, because nowadays basically the each and every cities are getting used into the human need creation basically. So that's why basically it's required there basically. So whenever basically the energy gets extract from that city, that time basically it's required. So the energy company basically can easily able to extract the data in their format basically. So they have created their own format, that is basically the smart city, and smart city have one energy format basically. In that energy format basically they have created the cities basically. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this.